Hello. I didn't plan this video actually, so but I thought it would be fun to make one. The reason why I didn't plan this is because I have something else to do. In theory, this month I had a lot of commissions to make so far, and we're only on the halfway through the month. And I kind of want to draw something else, to be honest. It's not like I don't enjoy commissions, but after a while, only drawing things other people want you to draw can be a little bit. I'm not gonna say I'm tired of it. I'm just gonna say I need a little break. So and to draw something simple, because all of the things I had to draw were large watercolor paintings with a lot of details, and this is too large. And I want to draw something simple for a change. What I'm trying to draw is my a humanoid version of my character from the character I'm in when I'm playing Among Us. We're all playing little space skittles of sorts. I saw some people calling them the beans. And yeah, it's really cute. And I just thought it would be fun if I drew a humanoid version, but still cute version of mine. I always play with this little thing on my head, little plants. I like. I know it sounds dumb, but I love plants. So when I saw there was an option to have a little plant on your character's head, I was like, yep, this is mine. Big space boots. There's I love playing the game. I already said that in a previous video. I think it's the exact balance of easy to learn how to play and with enough possibilities to stay entertaining. This is the O2 room on Polus, aka the, or how I like to call it, the thing map. Yeah. Chum, chum. Chum, chum, chum. I think there's a download here, I'm not exactly sure. And whenever possible, I I use the color lime. Hmm. I'm a terrible liar. So, but I kind of make a decent imposter, mostly for one reason, and that's because whenever I'm not talking about something I'm really passionate about, my voice gets really, really monotone and without a lot of inflections in it. And because of that, I usually have the same tone if I'm lying or if I'm telling the truth. So even if I'm lying like a rug, it sounds exactly the same for the most part. And apparently, I'm saying apparently because that's what other people told me. Apparently, it makes things very confusing when I'm being accused. Apparently, some players use tone to tell who's lying or not. As a person who can't distinguish tone or sarcasm or or someone being ironic, I can't use that, so I don't rely on that. I mainly rely on, wait a minute, I saw you in this room and that room doing this or that, or oh, but last round you said this and now you're saying this. There's a discrepancy there. Or oh, it's weird. You're accusing the guy you were defending during the previous round. Stuff like that. I'm if I start using tone as as evidence, it would become easier. But to me, depending on the day, everything sounds ironic or everything sounds 100% genuine. So it's a problem. You can't hear it because I have my headphones on. I'm listening to calm Celtic music. I'm gonna draw me as the imposter on the other page. It's really difficult for me to win games in Among Us currently because the group of friends I play with has decided because my voice was monotone and difficult to judge, they were going to vote me out just in case a lot of the time. So as you can guess, if I'm imposter and survive long enough, it means I'm gonna lose every single game. And if I'm crewmate and I survive long enough, it means crewmates are gonna lose the game because they're gonna vote me out instead of the imposter. It's a real problem in both cases. It's also a problem I have in real life, but I didn't expect it to extend to video games. Like, no, I don't trust you, but I'm just because I have a weird voice. And I mean, fair enough, I don't really sound like a dude, so if I sounded more masculine, I guess people would trust me more. I don't know. Possibly. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if the damning part is me not sounding like a guy or me sounding monotone or both. Maybe a combination of both. I really like Polus as a map. It's really stressful. It's really stressful because it's big. But because it's big, you have a lot of little places you can hide as a crewmate or as an imposter. Uh, 12 minutes, okay. There's still time to do some color. I'm not even sure what's going on with the plant on on the head of that character. In any case, it's even if I lose a lot of games because of, well, how I am basically. Even then, it's a lot of fun. This is going to sound weird, but every single time someone kills me, in this game, in an imposter specifically. I don't like being voted out, but every time an imposter kills me, I laugh so hard. It's just, I think it's mostly the contrast between these little colorful beans and the violence, the general violence. Like 1 second you're merrily walking in a corridor with a little water bottle to water some plants, and then 1 second later you're being cut in half by another little colorful bean. It's just, I think it's one of the reasons this game is so successful. If it was more realistic, it would be kind of scary in a way. I mean, I'm not making jokes about the thing for no reason. It's exactly that. A lot of people, I know it's not a very original take, a lot of people had this take already. It's very similar. And there's similar levels of mistrust and paranoia. We played, we play regularly with some friends on the SCP Foundation Discord, and one guy, Dr. Grimm, if you want to follow him, does live streams when we are playing, and it's always funny to after the game is over to watch his stream and to see the contrasts between how he perceived things and how I perceived them. And some games are really boring from his point of view, and they were really tense from mine, and sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I was away from every single interesting thing happening in the game, and he was in the thick of it. And there was one particular game on Polus where I was a bit wary of him. And there was one round where I mentioned it during the vote. And what happened in... I'm gonna just first say what happened from his point of view. So in his stream, he was like, okay, I'm going to follow Johannes, and he's gonna see I'm okay. I'm a good guy, and there's no need to freak out. And he started to follow me around, and I was running around, not doing any tasks, just running, stopping once in medbay because someone else was here, and to do a quick task, and starting to run again. And he was like, Johannes is acting very, very suspicious. I don't like this at all. And he was following me through the entire map. And what was happening from my point of view is I really was a crewmate, and this guy I was suspecting to be an imposter, but who was a crewmate in the end, started to follow me around for the entire round. And what was basically going in my head was the entire round. Why won't he leave? Stop chasing me! He was like, why are you running? Why are you running? There was also a guy who plays with us sometimes, and he plays in an extremely chaotic way. Chaotic. My English is terrible. You knew what you signed for. I'm not even sorry anymore. Deal with it. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty chaotic when I'm playing. I do things like dancing in front of the cams when I see the cams are on, hiding in weird places just to see if someone's gonna find me and follow me around, which is a thing a crewmate wouldn't do usually. Like the top of the cafeteria on the Skald. Like, there's nothing there. If you're hiding there, there's no reason for anyone to go there unless to try to kill you. So yeah. But and I also do things like keep people in front of other people and accusing them, and sometimes it even works. But this guy, his nickname is Grey, and the guy he's like an agent of chaos. It's I'm used to it now, but the guy is... I mean, I'm used to seeing him doing weird stuff. I'm not used to what he does in the game. He's gonna spend entire rounds doing nothing, just just standing there and faking tasks as a crewmate and stuff like that. It's really weird. And when he calls out people, it's usually based on nothing. And then when it turns out the people he was calling out were the imposter, he was like, "Why didn't you follow my goal?" And we're like, "But it was based on nothing." But they had a vibe. You can't vote on vibes, Gray. And he's gonna do stuff like there's someone pressing the emergency button, and on Myra, and you're like, "What? Nobody died yet. What's going on? Why did you press the button?" And the guy is gonna say, "Gray," and Gray's gonna be like, "Yeah. Why are you standing on the vent of the dropship in the middle of the dark by yourself after everyone left?" And Gray, absolute poker face, is gonna answer something like, "I was vibing." And everyone is laughing, and everyone's gonna say, "Yeah, no, no, vote him out." That's it. Enough bullshit for today, Gray. And he's like, but I'm a crewmate. And you throw him out, and there's something like, Gray wasn't the imposter, because yeah, this guy was just standing on a vent in the dark at the dropship where no one needs to go after the start. Because he woke up and he was like, I think I'm gonna stand on the vent in the dropship. And one time we were playing on the Scald, and he pressed the button. The game had barely started, and he was like, "It's this guy." And we were like, "Why? Did you see him vent? Did you see... what did you see?" And he was like, "I saw nothing, but I was trying to dance, and he refused to dance, so it has to be him." And we were like, "Nah, we're not gonna vote him based on that." And he was like, "But it has to be him." We were like, "Nah." Nah, not enough. And we continued playing. Surprise, it was him. He was one of the imposters. And Gray was like, "I told you it was him. He refused to dance with me, so he had to be a bad guy." And we were like, "Gray, you can't do that. You can't keep doing that." Another thing that really makes the recent games difficult for me is that I'm really bad with the vents. I'm really bad at vent kills. I very rarely attempt to use vents because I usually get caught. But there's one clip circulating of one game with Dr. Grimm and my friends, on which I did such a perfect vent kill, killing Dr. Grimm, that even he didn't see me on the stream. Like, you can see my username flashing over the vent for like half a second after the animation kill, and it's gone, and he didn't see it. And That's one time I did a good vent kill. One time. And because that clip is circulating, people assume I'm very good at them, but no, it's just one. One time I did one good vent kill, and I failed like 40 others. But no, that's the one that's circulating, so people assume I'm good at them. And so when I'm like, but I wasn't even in the room, people are like, yeah, but you're good at vent kills, so we are gonna vote you out. It's so frustrating. There was one evening where I didn't get imposter even once, and at every single game they were like, I don't know, could be your every single game, not one where I could play and not be suspected. That was crazy. How many time left? Oh, 2 minutes, and we've done the colors, so it's good. I'm putting a little trans flag here. I'm using felt tip pens because, as you can see, it's very tiny. So yeah, see you later. Welcome back. This part is going to be much quicker because I just have to put some highlights and then redo the line art. I don't even remember if there's tubes on the tree or cables, but I'm adding some anyway. Going back to this is very much like the thing discussion. There's something I think is really funny about the fan art I see floating around for this game. Because basically there's two big categories of images floating around for Among Us. There's really cute drawings with the beans, basically, the bean characters, or really terrifying, realistic, gruesome fan art full of blood and guts everywhere. And yeah, I'm trying to do something in between there. It's cute, but it's not the beans. I like the beans, just it's the contrast between them and the general violence, as I said, that I found funny. some dots. I like when you're able to see a bit of dust or particles, even in very simple drawings like this one. It's a good thing too that the characters are so cute and stylized, because what's going on is actually terrifying if you think about it. Going on a tangent here, but I'm like a lot of The Thing fans, I will forever be salty about the prequel being destroyed in post-production by 3D effects. It's not like the movie itself had a very interesting story to tell compared to the first one. It wasn't particularly clever with it, but two aspects were really selling it, in my opinion, and it was first the very, very good, how do I put this, retro engineering they did to figure out what happened on the Norwegian base, just based on what we see in the Carpenter movie. Like they really found a reason for the axe in the door and why it was so high in the door and why it stayed there and nobody touched it or removed it from the door. Why that guy killed himself in the com room, even though calling for help was probably the best idea. Of course, they found a reason for the two-headed monster thing and the block of ice. And that's really impressive because they didn't have to, basically. They did a really good job with that. As I said, I was especially impressed by the reason behind the axe in the door. And if you like The Thing but haven't seen the prequel, it's because one of the guys constituting the two-headed monster that we see dead in the snow in the first one, the one who contaminated the other, his arms scuttled away like the head in the first one in the lab, on little legs like insects. And one of the two characters trying to run away in the prequel has an axe, and there's one of these arm things scuttling on the door in front of him, and he kills it with the axe and smashes it into the door, and the axe is covered in blood, and that's the blood of the entity. and he moves to remove the axe from the door, and his friend is like, no, 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 don't touch it, leave it there, don't touch the blood, you're gonna get infected as well. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, good idea. And the axe stay there on the door. And I thought that was particularly not extremely clever, but it made complete sense, so it was good. And the second thing I thought was a selling point for this prequel was the special effects. And when you look at the making of, it's really impressive. They did some incredible work on the practical effects. It's really impressive. The first half of the two-headed monster thing is absolutely shit your pants scary, even as a practical effect. And the idea was they just had to add some parts in 3D in post-production, like extra arms, touching some things here and there, but basically you'd still see their practical effects. But it's not what happened. The studio was like, no, the big thing now is 3D movies, and we're gonna have to add effects that we can use for 3D. And they hid most, not all, but most of their work under a lot of CGI, and it's not entirely ruined, but some effects are really ugly in CG compared to the work they did in practical effects. Not everything's not completely ruined. The two-headed monster part is still really, really scary. Mostly because they didn't add that much CGI on top of it, just a bit. And it's really sad because you just watching this and you can't help but wonder what kind of movie it could have been without all this CGI added on top. And it's really sad. Okay, there we go. As I said, I'm gonna do another one here, but I'm not sure I'm gonna film it. I think we're good for today. That's enough filming for today. I'm gonna scan it and post it, and I'll see you later. Have a nice day.